Most agents upload videos, cross their fingers, and hope for the best. And then they wonder why their content gets no views and ultimately no leads. Here's the thing. YouTube doesn't reward random uploads. YouTube does reward a consistent strategy. And if you're not dialing in these 3 key elements that I'm going to teach you in this video, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. The good news, mastering these doesn't take luck. It takes knowing exactly what works, which is what I'm about to teach you. Today, I'm breaking down those 3 hacks that can ultimately turn your real estate video views into leads calling you. Kicking things off with number 1 being the video title. Well, you might say, no duh, Ryan, video title, obviously, right? It has to have a title. Well, there's more to it than what you might think. With the way that we teach YouTube, you're going to notice, right? You're going to go on it and you're going to start doing your research, which is part of the video title topic that we're talking about here with this hacks, right? And these are going to be in sequential order for the 3 key elements tying into the 3 hacks, okay? Video title. All right, for the method that we teach being the local resource method with the courses that we have and the coaching that we have, the group coaching or the one-on-one coaching, right, that we offer at Agent Marketers, okay? Local resource. You're going to notice a lot of titles that are going to say pros and cons of living in such and such city. Okay, cool. But the problem becomes, all right, a viewer is scrolling through YouTube and then they see another agent with a very similar thumbnail with a very similar title that also says pros and cons of living in whatever city. And then they see this title 8, 10 times and they're like, they are all saying the same thing. So your video title, how do you differentiate yourself? What can you do to that title to make it more appealing and to separate yourself? Well, now we're diving deeper into something that will tie into more of the psychology of marketing. So taking it back to even one of the first books that I ever read, which was by Russell Brunson, okay? And he's talking about how he was getting letters in the mail and things like that. And then as he evolved, right, he starts testing. And he even says in this book, one little word can make the difference, all the difference of somebody clicking or making that purchase or whatever that is. But one word can tap into the brain and trigger something else that separates that title or that headline or that article, whatever that is, from everyone else, and it can really click and stick, okay? And that's what we want to do here. So let's go back and take that title anyway, right? So pros and cons of living in city, right? What if we take that title and we twist it up a little bit using different examples here, okay? What if we said the real pros and cons of living in city from a true local? Now do you see what we did there with that title? Okay, that title we added the real. So what is that? Adding the word real. What does that do to somebody's brain when it comes to the psychology of marketing? What is there fake pros and cons? Is somebody not being honest about pros and cons? Is this person that is using this in the title more honest than somebody else about their pros and cons? So that one word right there can start to mess around with the psychology in the brain as far as having that in there as a title, okay? Now let's go back to the rest. The real pros and cons of living in city from a true local, if you fit that category. Now, what is a true local? Is that subjective? Is that somebody born and raised there? Is that somebody that's been there for more than 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What is that? It's almost like that word affordable, right? Which can also be used in titles, which we know works in certain aspects. But what does that from a true local? What does that mean? What does that trigger in somebody's brain? Now, when it comes to the consumer, right? We make these titles for the consumer. You do not make your titles for you. You make them for the consumer and you try to tap into that psychology. So, true local. Maybe this person wants to hear from somebody who they presume is a true local and they think you have been there for X amount of years and you have seen a lot of development in this area or this community or this city, and they really want that perspective. Now, what if we said from a newcomer? A newcomer, that can also be a relatable aspect for somebody else who is thinking about making the move there, and they don't really want to hear from somebody who's been there forever because they might not be as enthusiastic or it might not sound like a new experience. But if you said from a new local or newcomer, right? Maybe they want that fresh, raw experience from just that word right there. So you can see how testing titles, getting creative with titles, and the psychology of titles from just that one example that I just gave you right there can really change and make a difference from what you see on YouTube when everybody has the same exact thing and everybody's head is in the same 16 by 9 rectangle and everybody is simply projecting right about around the same information. They may just be delivering it differently. So this is one of the ways with the title. If you understand this hack and you stop trying to do the same thing as everybody else, you understand that the pros and cons is the topic of the video. Pros and cons of this city is the topic, not the title. It can also be a keyword and that people are searching for, right? We understand that. But it is the topic. Let's craft a title tapping into the psychology of the brain and marketing to separate ourselves, make it different, and stand out. Number 2 is going to be that video thumbnail. Again, no duh, Ryan. Like these are basic things, aren't they? Well, if you learned anything from number one, you kind of learned how I coach and how I think outside the box. I want to evolve. I want you to be innovative. I want you to expand. I want you to separate. I want you to dominate. I want you to be different. Okay. And the same thing goes with the thumbnail. But here's the hack or the key to the thumbnail. Now, the video thumbnail is extremely important, even when you have the hover play now that is on mobile, even on desktop, but people still see thumbnails and click-through rates when in YouTube. If you don't know what a click-through rate is, excuse me. The click-through rate or the CTR is the impressions and clicks, right? How many people are actually seeing this and how many people are actually clicking on this, right? And typically we want to have a really high click-through rate. Now, baseline, I would say as long as you're above 5% on your click-through rate, you're doing okay. If you can keep it upwards of 7, depending on where it's at in browsing YouTube and all these other things. If I'm speaking a foreign language, I apologize. You should definitely take our YouTube course, link down in the description below, so you really understand this and it doesn't sound like I'm speaking French. But this thumbnail, how do we separate? How do we differentiate? And what else is important? So number 1, again, starting with research. Go on YouTube or use a tool like TubeBuddy or vidIQ. I like TubeBuddy. Seems a little easier, better interface, and I've been using it forever, and so I'm just accustomed to it. Now, TubeBuddy, again, great tool. But using those or just going on YouTube and typing in your city or typing in living in city state or moving to city state, you will see titles and you will see, like I just said in the titles, right? You're going to see a lot of the same crap. And then with thumbnails, you're going to notice a lot of similar ones too. Okay. Now, what's the point here with these thumbnails? You want your thumbnail to stand out. I hate that clickbait is such a derogatory term, but you do want clickbait thumbnails. You want to have a really high CTR. You do want click-through rate. You do want to have a lot of people see that title, see that thumbnail, and click into your video. Now, couple things. We use Canva. I live in Canva. Canva is another tool, right? I create everything in Canva. Videos, thumbnails, images, website graphics. I do everything in Canva. When you create your thumbnail, I highly recommend Canva because they have a lot of stock images. They have a lot of things that you can do, easy background removers, all that good stuff. Okay. I don't have a link for them, but canva.com. Not affiliated with them by any means, right? Not affiliated with TubeBuddy either. But Canva is where we create everything, putting an image in the background, right? Having text on the screen. Now, let me give you a couple key elements here. If I am doing, let's say, a community tour, right? And I have a cool drone shot of the community, or if I have a picture that I took because I was out and it's the community sign and there's a park or a house behind it, whatever that is, something that really is attractive about that community, then I want that to be in the background of my thumbnail. And then obviously with personal branding, you want to put your face on it to have that relatable aspect. And then I typically want to have anywhere from 1 to 4 words on the thumbnail, not blocking that community image because we do want people to see that, right? That's what they came for. And then those words are going to be short and sweet, but I also like to have a trigger word in there, okay? And I'll give you an example here. So on our Las Vegas channel, we did a video that was titled, why are people still moving to Las Vegas in 2025 and why are some leaving? And in that video, all right, the thumbnail was the Las Vegas Strip in the background with neighborhoods and a moving truck. And then myself and Peter, my business partner in Vegas's face on the thumbnail. And then 2 words in the thumbnail said, shocking reasons. Think about that. Title says, why are people still moving to Las Vegas in 2025? And then thumbnail has shocking reasons. Oh my goodness. People are still, what the, right? It's like, man, there's a lot going on up here that is triggering a lot of things for somebody to want to click and watch that video. Okay. So that's what I would do as far as making thumbnails. Now, I do have a free training inside of Agent Marketers HQ. There's a link down in the description. If you go click that link, you're going to basically get into Agent Marketers HQ. We have a bunch of freebie tutorials, free templates for thumbnails, free training for thumbnails, 25 video titles. There's a bunch of stuff in there in our Agent Marketers HQ. Now, a couple things here. You can use AI for your thumbnails. I know somebody might ask that in the comments. Yes, you can use AI for your thumbnails, but when we use AI for our thumbnails, we still put them in Canva and we still add our faces and text to it. I do not like AI adding text to my thumbnails because typically it looks weird and sometimes letters blur together. I don't know what it does. So I have to tell AI, don't put any text on my thumbnails. Like I will handle that myself. And then we put our faces on it and all that good stuff. So you can use AI for thumbnails. Now, the key here, the ultimate key here is having consistency between your title and thumbnail. Okay. If your title is why everyone loves living in whatever city, and then your thumbnail, it looks very fire and brimstone, doom and gloom, they don't match up, right? Not consistent. The message isn't consistent for the audience, right? Or the consumer. You want to have consistency. So if you are saying why everyone is leaving city state in 2025, then you want to have a thumbnail that is more dramatic. Your facial expression in that thumbnail should be something along the lines of, right? Something like that. And then you want to have it more of a sort of not fire, but you want to have that dramatic thumbnail that almost speaks to this negative context of the video. All right. If you were doing that style of video. Okay. So that thumbnail is extremely important, and that consistency, and stick with me for number 3, because this is going to pop up again, but that consistency between title and thumbnail is crucial. Lastly is going to be that video opening or video hook, which is going to be that first 30 seconds of the video for YouTube specifically. Now, you say, Ryan, what 30 seconds? Why does that matter? Well, hey, look, there's a reason why in your YouTube studio, and for each specific video, you can look at your retention graph, all right, and you can see how that retention happened in the first 30 seconds. This is going to tell you if you're consistent. This is the key here to all this. This is the ultimate hack to all of this, is video title is consistent with video thumbnail, which is also consistent, with how I opened that video. Okay. Let me give you an example here and then I'll dive more into that. So example, okay. I had a video. It was on our home tours channel, which is another niche or channel identity, which we explain in our coaching, another course for that too. If you want to strictly do a home tours channel, we have that available where we will teach you exactly how to build a home tours style channel and generate leads from that on a consistent basis, which we are doing here in Vegas as well. Now, in this video, when we first started this channel and we wanted to showcase the homes, right? It's a home tours channel. We're showcasing a lot of new construction, some resale, but showing these homes. We opened the video, right? So title is tour this whatever home, right? Which we have a structure for titles that you'll learn about in the course. And then the thumbnail has the home. And then the opening of the video, we are standing in front of the home, but we're talking about the community. So when we talk about the consistency of the message, okay, we're talking about the community when the first maybe 3.5 to 4 minutes of the video, we're just standing there talking about the community. And what the retention graph told me was that people were watching this and going, what the heck is this? I did not come here to watch these two dummies stand in front of this house. I came to see the inside of this house, right? So That being said, it wasn't consistent between title, thumbnail, and opening of the video. So that retention looks like this half pipe, right? All the way down, drop. It was like less than 52%. It was absolutely horrible. And as far as retention graph goes, and now what we've been perfecting, obviously we don't do that anymore, learning from our mistakes and things like that, which is why you got to take the course. Okay. We have shifted our entire framework of videos, but now you'll see that in some of these retention graphs where we are retaining people up to 72%, 76% in certain videos. Obviously, there's other factors where if your video is getting a real big push and browser suggested, this could really impact it. But for the most part, we're trying to maintain that retention. If you have great video retention in the first 30 seconds, you're already doing a really good job and telling YouTube that a lot of people are sticking around on this video and hanging out, which if you have great retention in the beginning, you had a really good hook, right? In the beginning of that, then typically you're going to have a higher average view duration, which then we get into video performance and all these other things into YouTube, which we talk about in our coaching. Okay. So this opening hook is extremely important. I also wanted to give you a couple elements, all right, when it comes to this and having a good video hook, because I've told you, right, we got to be consistent. The message has to be consistent. All right, we don't want to have these crappy retention graphs. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Let me give you a couple things here. So when it comes to your opening hook, do not be monotone and say, welcome to my video. My name is Ryan and I'm the greatest real estate agent in Las Vegas. And this is going to be an exciting video because I'm going to... How boring is that? Like, is anybody going to stick around for that? No, I'm not telling you to change who you are, but I am telling you that if you are boring and you can't pick up your energy, why would the viewer be excited to watch that video? You have to pick up your energy. You have to pick up your enthusiasm as if you want to make that video. If you're standing there like somebody's on the other side of that camera, right, making you make this hostage video, which, I mean, one of my first videos looked like that, but trust me, I didn't come out just making videos like this. All right. So it took time and work, but if you come out like that, I guarantee you're going to have a very poor retention graph. So first thing is open the video. Do not go ahead and state your name or nothing like that, but open the video with energy and enthusiasm. Having really high energy or really good energy and acting like you give a crap about what you're talking about is going to make the viewer care just as much if they clicked on it because that is something that they were interested in learning. You got to understand that. Okay. So they're interested in seeing this home or they're interested in getting this location information, but you open the video like I just did with that example, and I'm like, ooh, no, right? Versus them seeing the title, seeing the thumbnail. Oh man, I love that. Video opens and you've got energy and enthusiasm and you act like you love to talk what you're about to talk about in that video. They will be all on board for it, and that's going to help you with that retention. Okay. Another element that I wanted to help you out with was dialing in your opening hook. Okay. Now, my videos, I do not script my videos per se. Okay. Not saying you can't. I highly recommend it if you need it. Matter of fact, Adam scripts his videos. Okay. I just do not. I'm not scripted right now. I'm not reading a teleprompter right now. Matter of fact, it's a very small camera lens. So I do not. But what I do recommend is writing down your hooks. Writing them down, saying them out loud, making sure it sounds like you, especially if you're using AI, which I was going to talk about, making sure it sounds like you, making sure it hits all the key points, making sure that it's something that if you were a viewer, again, you have to put yourself in the viewer's shoes. If you were a viewer and what you just heard, does that sound interesting? Does it sound like it hits any tension points? Does it sound like it's something that is going to pique a lot of interest? Does it dangle any carrots? Does it get me excited to want to stick around? Okay. Write them down, read them out to yourself, or on your phone, do like a voice note. All right. Do a voice note and read the script as if you were filming and go back and listen to that same voice note. Like, man, that's terrible. Like, let me rewrite this. Okay. Don't just wing those opening hooks. Now, the AI part. Yes, use AI if you've got to. I get writer's block too, okay? And if you want to know the truth, the hook to this video was written by AI. But That's something another time for another place, right? Use AI. AI can help you write video hooks, opening hooks. You have to provide it those instructions. That's a whole other training. Use AI though. And again, just make sure it sounds like you. All right. This is going to help you get past that writer's block. This is going to help you get something crafted, and then you can take it and manipulate it to make it yours. So last but not least, that consistency is super crucial. You have to be consistent from title to thumbnail to opening hook. These 3 key elements and hacks right here will make sure that your videos are skyrocketing and doing exactly what they are supposed to be doing, which is getting you leads. As I mentioned throughout this video, we have courses in coaching that teach you everything. If you need that structured step-by-step instructions, and you dominating YouTube is something that you set up as a New Year's resolution for yourself in 2025 and beyond, at any time you want to jump into YouTube, we have those courses and coaching available on agentmarketers.com, where you can go in and check out. As I mentioned previously, that we have freebie trainings inside of Agent Marketers HQ. Okay, it's a free community and there are free trainings in there. You can always hop in our coaching anytime. It's very affordable, no contracts, cancel anytime. Come in, ask your questions, and get out, right? Anything like that. So again, my name is Ryan. Adam isn't here, but agentmarketers.com. Check it out. Hop in our community. And if you guys need anything else, make sure you drop it in the comments. I got tons of other videos teaching you how to dominate YouTube, Instagram, and a bunch of other things so that you can generate more leads and grow your real estate business. They're going to start popping up for you over here. You just go ahead and tap one with your finger, click it with your mouse, your TV clicker, whatever it is you're using. I'll see you in the next one.